Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Futures Morning Leap session for Thursday, August 11th, 2016. My name is Doug McKay. I'm the founder and moderator of Quantum Leap Futures. Each month we get together in these each week, each day, each morning, we get together in these live sessions to take a look at the market, macro to micro, take a look at the structure of the market, and then we drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses. This is a subscription room, so please read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results in any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, and your own risk metrics. If you are interested in checking us out, send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. There's no website, there's no blog, it's not a commercial venture. Sorry, I'm a little bit tired this morning. I was up working on my swing short during the European session. So yesterday, our main hypothesis was contrary to my position, but I explained why. But the main hypothesis was a move down to pick up buyers somewhere down here between the 74 and the 76, very similar to the hypothesis we had the day before, and then a rotation up through value and up through range and go and make a new all-time high. Hypo 2 was an open auction in range, a move up, failure to get out of range and find responsive sellers somewhere up here, maybe even a false breakout, but then a rotation down through and back towards that 72-75, chop around there, and then push through down into that 67.25. So it was hypo 2 with a little bit. There was really no big move up. I mean, we opened and we did go up. We just didn't get as high. I thought we'd go at least to the naked VPOC, but anyway, they rotated us down, and we got within 2 ticks of our secondary target on the swing short. Swing short primary target, of course, or the first target was 72.75, and the secondary was 67.25, and then we were looking for a move down into that 64 to 59 area and back towards the microcomposite VPOC. We got down to the 67.75, and they rotated us back up through the lower distribution. Yesterday is a double distribution day with a clear LVN at 74 and a quarter, 74.50, which basically, remember that our year open is 74, so we're giving a little bit of a battle on the not the year open, the month open. Boy, I'm going to wake up this morning. Let's take a quick look at the news. We had unemployment claims. They came out better than expected, 266 versus 272. Import prices came out better than expected, minus 0.2% versus 0.1. And 10 o'clock, we've got mortgage delinquencies. That should be an interesting one. Not really a big market mover, but simply a indication of the housing situation. And then 10:30, we've got natural gas. 1 o'clock, we've got the 30-year bond auction, and that's about it for today. Generally, I do a basic macro to micro view. I'm going to skip that this morning. We're going to go straight into just the bigger picture structure. We now have 4 days of balance on the breakout. We broke out of this this balance with the value area at 67.25 and 53.25, and then we found balance up here. We went in, put a new all-time high at 83.50 in the Globex. Then we went and took it out in the we put all-time high at 83 in the Globex. Then we took it all out at 83.50 in the RTH, and then we've since rotated back down towards that 67.25, but buyers stepped in front of it and rotated us back up, and now we're sitting in this balance here. And this is a pretty good kurtosis right here around the 77. Our value area high for the 4 days is 78.75. Our value area low is 71.50. There's a little HVN up here at 81.75, a high volume node. If we can get above that 78.75, this would be the key target, and of course the all-time high at 83.50. There is a potential cup and handle on the 1 hour that gives us a targeted measured move up to 21.86 as a primary target, and 21.90 for a secondary target. Now, in terms of my swing position, I only got one trade on last night. I took the FUBAR Mr. Sneaky tech gap. Let me show you that so that you can familiarize yourself with that setup. I went to bed early and got up to trade the European, and you can see here's the FUBAR volume spike, creates a technical gap. Then we get the Mr. Sneaky, and then your entry bar is on here. I got short 77.25, and then what did I think I got? I set my first scale at 75, yeah, 75, and then 73. So this trade now can stand on its leg. When I began it, when we entered, Marvin and I at the 76.75, I was needing to use my prior profit for the day to protect the trade. I had 5 3/4 points that I was using in Theo. As I started to work this, now my Theo is up to 21.93.50. So I have Theo up to 21.93.50. My stop is currently at 21.84.75. So this trade now is bulletproof. I will not move my stop up now. I will only move my stop down. It's a matter of whether or not I decide that the market is going to, it's looking like the market still wants to go up. It's found buyers at that 67.75 and rotated up. My decision now is, do I let this work? And if it does work and I get taken out at my stop, I'll lock in about, what is it, 21.93.50, 21.84.75. So I'll lock in 8 3/4 points. As it stands right now, I've got one runner going from 77.25. We're basically trading above that right now, so I'm starting to give back a little bit of profit. I've got 16.25 points in open Theo right now on this. So it's a matter of, do I let it go to fruition and end up with a possible only 8 3/4 points, or do I take it down earlier if I think that it's going to be violated? Right now, I'm going to let it work and see how the morning develops. The idea here was the exercise of getting the first real shot at a swing short that we haven't had for a while yet. So I'm prepared to let it work a bit. We start getting up into above the 82.75s, then I might just take it down and lock in a little bit more profit. But right now I can't sweat the wiggles. I got to let this work out. Okay, so taking a look at the overnight session, we had a double distribution on the overnight as we did in the RTH session. You can see that the LVN on the overnight session is 75.75. You can see that the LVN on the RTH session is 74.25 through to 74.75. The value area high is 75.75, so I'm actually going to split this right down the middle, oops, as a trade area. And basically I want to be below the 74.25 on any shorts, and I want to be above 75.75 for any longs. So I'm going to lean towards the 75.75 simply because it's more current and because of the value area high. But double distributions are nice because you know that once you're above or below the LVN, you've got a reasonable probability that you're going to rotate it to the HVN of the distribution. So the overnight high right now is likely to get taken out here, and we'll put in a new overnight high. We're just a couple ticks below it, and that news is pushing the market with the better unemployment claims. Our overnight low is certainly going to hold now at 70. I got a target at 73.25, which is one tick above two ticks above the VPOC from yesterday. Our VPOC overnight is 77.50, but it just shifted, so it could shift back depending on how we treat the next 30 minutes. I'm going to use the 77.50. I'm going to put the overnight high in for the time being at the 79. See that 79 overnight high was our open yesterday in the RTH session. And there's really no other information that I need from here. So we'll expand this up. Right now our Keltner center line is sitting at 76. We're holding above it. A move to the upper Keltner line is going to take us up into the 80.50 and test the range high from yesterday's RTH session. And got a pretty good probability that's going to happen right now. So what are our trade levels? Obviously, we've got a trade level at the 80 for move up into the 81.75, and then all our levels above remain the same, although we have to add, we have a primary target at 86 on a cup and handle. That's on the 1 hour. And the secondary is 90.25, which just happens to be our daily upside ATR target. Our is it our daily? I'm sorry, I got to check this out. 2170. Our daily 20 period ATR is 1560. So that's 2185 is our daily upside ATR target. And that's just a couple ticks below this cluster of measured moves that we're getting. What's that rate? 2170 plus the 1560. All right, yeah, 2185. And then off of the current high overnight, our downside ATR daily target is going to be 2163. All right, and our weeklies changes slightly. Our upside weekly ATR is going to shift down from 2220 down to 2214.50. Our weekly 20 period ATR is running 46.7675. All right, and then those are all our levels to the upside. To the downside, we've got the the month open and the LVN, I'm going to put a double trade level in here, just so that it encompasses this. I don't want to trade in between this level unless I'm already in a trade. Obviously, the 77 is a major target right now because of the fact it is the microcomposite VPOC for the 4 days. And then below here, you've got a target down here at 71 and a quarter, which was where the VPOC was just before it shifted from the 77 down to the 71 and a quarter, and then into the close, it shifted up to the 72.75. But for a good portion of the afternoon and the HVN of the lower distribution, it's down here at 71 and a quarter, so it becomes a target for us if we're on the short side. And then we've got the value area low at 68 and a quarter, but it's only just a couple ticks, below the above the range low. So I'm going to use the range low rather than the value area. 67 target has not been hit, but I'm going to take it off because if we get below the 67.75, I'm looking for a push through to that 65 down to the 64 area. So, and then all our levels remain the same below. So let's get to the hypotheses. Unfortunately, the main hypothesis is going to be very similar to what we've been looking at for the last 3 days, looking for an open auction in range out of value, a rotation down to test the 76 down to 74 level. Why? Because we've got the LVN from overnight at 75.75, and we've got the LVN from the prior RTH session at 74 and a quarter, and we've got the mid and the month open, which are identical at 74. So I'm looking for them to come down, test the lower side of the upper distribution, find initiative buyers, maybe even dip down to the 72.75 to take out the naked close and the naked VPOC, and then rotate up through range and then go take out the 81.75, 81.75 being our primary target of the Hypo 1, and a push to make a new all-time high and come up into the 85, 86 area where we've got these clusters of measured moves. So Hypo 1 is open auction in range, a move down to test the lower distribution of the double distribution of the Globex and the RTH session, so somewhere between 75.75 and 74 and a quarter, with a possible dip to take out the close and VPOC, and then rotate up through and go and hit that 81 and 83 and put in a new all-time high. That's Hypo 1. Hypo 2 is an open auction in range, again very similar to what we've been looking at, and they move up, break the high of the prior day session, and then push up through to the 81.75 to the 83, maybe a false breakout, and then finding responsive sellers and rotating us through down into the 72.75 and chop around into the close inside of the lower distribution as we mature this auction down here. Maybe a late day probe down into the 67 and a quarter area. So Hypo 2 is an open auction in range, a breakout, takeout of the naked VPOC, maybe a new all-time high, find responsive sellers, rotate down through, main target 72.75, push through, chop around in the lower distribution with maybe a late day probe down into the 67 and a quarter, 64 area. Hypo 3 is a open auction in range, a push up, a breakout, chop around between 81.75 and 83.50 and get a continuation day and go up and hit and test the 90s, with the key target being 21.90 and a quarter. That's our full cup and handle move. So hypo 3 is an open auction in range, a breakout, chop between the 81.75 and 83, get continuation wave up through and going up and testing into the 90s, maybe even a late date probe into the 2200. Hypo 4 is an open auction, a failure to break out of range, push down, immediately take out the naked close and naked VPOC, chop here, and then get failure and push through down into the 64 to 60, 75 back into the microcomposite VPOC. So those are my 4 hypotheses. Again, I'm hoping that we see continuation down. I'm hoping we see hypo 4. And or hypo 2, but hypo 2 gets me nervous once we break out of value. We've not put in a new all-time high. The 79 is a weak high overnight. We had the double top on the 79, so just be careful. Risk is still to the upside. Anyway, that's going to complete our pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side. I'm going to go ahead and close